So it's that time of year, the time to plan our exciting family vacation. Anybody else planning for family vacations? The time where you get the questions of where we going, what we're doing, where we're staying, and you automatically start planning. That's where I am right now. I'm in that stage of researching and planning, comparing prices, comparing vacation ideas, and hoping to find something that will excite and make everybody happy. I'm looking at the different hotels, different location, cruises, Airbnbs, and everything else in between. Over the years, we've tried all of them. Beautiful rental homes, classic hotel vacations, and eventually we jumped on the cruising thing. And what I realize is that they're not just different locations or different places, they are different experiences altogether. They create a completely different kind of vacation idea or feeling or memories. Well, especially for me, some to me will feels very relaxing. While honestly, some of these places feels like I just relocated my responsibilities to another location. So today, let's talk about the three different ways people vacation. Whether you pick Airbnbs, hotels, or cruises. Let's talk about it and let's talk about what it looks like, the price, and a little bit of do's and don'ts along the way. Depending on what you're looking for, one of them might feel a lot more like a vacation than the others. The others, to me, seems like work. Can you guess which one feels peaceful and which one feels like work? What and don't forget to share in the comments what vacation types you like. First, let's talk about the Airbnb, the experience. Why some people feel like this is the right call, the Airbnb experience, the hey, let's pack everything and go to somebody else's house and and cook and clean, because I feel like that's what I do when I go on an Airbnb. I feel like I spend a lot of time researching the perfect place, the one with the beautiful pictures, the grand kitchen, the great pool, and everything else. And then I feel like my first stop is the grocery store. Well, you can't go to an Airbnb without grocery shopping, without planning meals. And let's be honest, by the time I make a list of what I'm going to buy and what I'm going to cook and how and what and where, it just feels like I just relocated my kitchen. It does not feel much like a vacation for me. It's a beautiful kitchen, probably better than the one I have at home, a nice pool, everyone's excited, but my first stop is the grocery store. I guess apparently vacation now includes grocery shopping. Listen, if that's your idea of a great vacation, the idea of cooking with your family or friends by the pool and the next day making breakfast in pajamas, hey, I respect that. But if I have to make another pot of rice and chop onions and grill while I'm on vacation, doesn't sound much fun to me. I am not relaxed. Because while everybody else is in the pool having fun, I'm still in the kitchen, just in a different location, just a nicer kitchen. I cook all year long. I only give my family breaks on Fridays, and we usually order something out, but I'm in the kitchen all the time. So the idea of just relocating my kitchen does not sound fun to me. And don't get me wrong, Airbnbs are can be wonderful. We have tried it a few times. We are a family of six, so finding a place that accommodates all of us and that especially when the kids were younger that I didn't have to worry about was great. They are great for big families, great for gathering, great for somebody that wants space. But sometimes it feels like less like a vacation to me and more like I just changed my scenery and nothing else because I'm still, again, planning meals, coordinating transportation, where we're going, what we're doing, making sure I got enough snacks for everybody, enough water, while everybody is creating great memories and all of that. I'm still chopping and cooking and at times still doing laundry. So, Airbnb is not my um, idea of a great vacation. I know people that loves it. They love the idea of grilling, of sitting by the pool, just them and their kids and family and friends, and not have to worry about other people in there with them. And they love the idea of everything being in one place. But for me, I feel like a vacation is a place where I want to try a different uh, a different dish, not my own cooking. I don't want to have hubby's grilled chicken while I'm on vacation. I mean, it's great, it tastes awesome, but I just want something different while I'm on vacation. And the next vacation idea that I'm throwing around is finding a hotel somewhere, maybe a different state, a different city, a different place that we haven't visited, and go there and stay at the hotel. I mean, there's something very magical about walking into a, you know what I mean, like a grand hotel lobby. The smell, the excitement, the looking around to see where for me the nearest coffee shop is inside the hotel, and looking at the different options of places to eat. Well, before I even book, I do my research. I always book hotels that offers different restaurant options so that my family will have choices and we're not stuck with the that one hotel restaurant. And I know we can go out around town and explore. We usually do that also. But I like a hotel that has a lot of amenities that offer different restaurants, different maybe entertainment and stuff. And sometimes those are hard to find, especially at a good price. So it becomes, again, work. But I do like a hotel um, better than an Airbnb because I don't have to worry about laundry and I don't have to worry about cooking. I do still have to worry about planning for where we're going to eat, when, how we're going to get there, and everything else. And with the hotel, yeah, you pay for the room, which sometimes seems very affordable, and that's it. Everything else, well, you have to figure it out. Where are we eating? And it's usually followed by, Mom, where are we eating? I'm hungry. Is there a restaurant nearby? I mean, and then I have to think, is it overpriced? Do we Uber there? Do we drive? Do we walk? Is there parking? Because a family of six, we drive a big, well, my husband does. He drives a van, and we have to always think, is there going to be parking? And everything else. Because everybody sometimes wants something different. And I have two in the group that's kind of a picky eater. And some might want sushi, and you hear that, dread it, oh, I don't care, whatever you decide, which you know what that means. I don't care really means they care. They just don't want to say it. They just want you to pick. And you try to accommodate everybody. You try to figure it out. You try to explore, try to make it fun. But sometimes for the person that's doing all the planning, which is usually is me, I feel like I've packed my bag just to relocate my mental load. Like I'm still coordinating. I'm still budgeting meals. I'm still planning. I'm still trying to figure everything else out. So basically, on paper, at times, a hotel sometimes looks like it's cheaper, or not cheaper, more affordable than anything else. But by the time you add breakfast, lunch, dinner, parking, transportation, drinks, and everything else in between, that affordable hotel starts to not feel like it's affordable anymore. And especially for a family of six. And a family of six, everywhere you go, you got to pay the, extra tip and all of that. So everything adds up very, very quickly. Even at an Airbnb, going grocery shopping and getting the snacks and planning everything else adds up. And again, it takes coordination, it takes planning. And sometimes I just don't feel like I've really have a peace of mind on a vacation. Like I really feel like when our kids were all under the same roof and we went on vacations, we did the Disney, the Wolf Lodge, the places where you spend a small fortune and you think, oh, I'm over standing in line for an hour for a 5 minute ride. I don't want to pay $5 for a bottle of water. But you do it because, the kids are young and that's what you do as a family. But now that our kids are older, our family vacation is starting to look a little bit different because we don't have to do go visit family or Wolf Lodge. We don't necessarily have to do that anymore. They're outgrown that part. So that's when I decided to try cruising. This happened a few years ago, roughly about 3 years ago. It was right after I finished chemo. And I wanted to try something different. I wanted to go on a vacation this time that did not involve a lot of planning on my part. I just was not in the mood for it. I wanted something that I felt was already laid out for me, and that's what cruising felt like. I finished chemo in May, and we went on our first cruise, our exciting cruise in July. That was our first time. And it was it was a bit um, scary, nerve-wracking, planning it. But like I said, I needed something different, something that was not chaotic, not exhausting, just different. No, long lines, no, sitting by the pool all day, in a crowded hotel, or planning, or grilling by the pool or anything like that, just something different. And so I started researching cruises, and like everybody else, watched 20 million YouTube videos on cruises, the do's and don'ts, and all of that good stuff. We decided that we was going on the Wonders of the Seas. At that time, the Icon or Utopia or anything else was not out, so the Wonders of the Seas was the largest ship back then, and I don't know if they were, but I was excited about it. I researched it and researched it. I knew every free restaurant on board. I every show, and I booked the ones ahead of time that I was able to. I knew every food location, what time they opened, and everything else. Look, I even packed a large first aid kit, like I was going to open a pharmacy at sea. I mean, I had everything in there from Benadryl to Tylenol, everything I thought we needed, motion sickness, everything else. If I felt like we needed it and Walmart sold it, it was in that container. Did we need it while on board? No, but it gave me a peace of mind, and I was happy that I had it, even though I didn't need it. Like I said, I watched a lot of videos, and it suggested that you bring it and not buy it on board because it was expensive. So that's what I did. So I remember when we pulled to Port Canaveral, and by the time we saw the ship, it was grand. It was huge. I mean, you can watch all the YouTube videos you want, but seeing it in person is a whole new different thing. It was huge. I was a little bit nervous. Nervous to the point where I didn't know if uh, husband and kids was gonna like it. Uh, so I was afraid of seasickness. I was afraid of what if we walked in and they didn't like it. What about if it was overwhelming? I mean, it's like a cruise is one of those things that it's not like you can, walk in and say, I'm checking out. Once it leaves port, that's it. So, like I said, I was a bit nervous, but when we walked in, wow, wow is all I can say. I mean, it was it was grand, it was beautiful. And after the kids and husband started feeling like, well, after I started noticing that, hey, they might like this, something shifted for me. For the first time, I felt like I don't need to be the group's coordinator anymore. I'm not the chef, I'm not the person to coordinate everything. I felt like I didn't need to figure out dinner for everybody. You know, I wasn't planning or thinking about the menu or, deciding what we were going to eat. And hey, I told them, these are the places to eat. Decide what you want to eat. And if you don't want to eat here, eat somewhere else. And boy, did that feel like freedom. For once, I felt like, oh, I'm going to enjoy this. And at the time, our boys, I mean, the two oldest did not go on this trip with us. I mean, they're adults and had to do adult things, meaning work. So they couldn't go with us on this trip. And I think that was the one of the first family vacations that they couldn't make it. So it was just the four of us. And our two youngest are twin boys. And I think at that time they were 14, 15. And we we decided to say, hey, you guys can have a little bit of a freedom, just check in with us. You can go walk around. We trust them. They're very mature and they stayed together and they knew to check in with us in the solarium because that's where we spent most of our time was the adult only place. I took a few books with me and we sat at the solarium and relaxed. It was just what I needed. I mean, it was awesome. It was relaxation. It was freedom. It was everything all wrapped up in one trip. Uh, the boys would come in, check with us in the solarium if they were changing locations or anything else, and we would meet for meals. Definitely dinner, and this is only for sea days, and of course port days. We all went on port together and spend the day together, exploring the different ports and trying local cuisines. And it was a great trip. And of course, with everything or every trip or everything in life, there's few things you learn along the way. And one of my biggest takeaway from our very first cruise was never ever book an inside cabin. We booked a balcony cabin for us, but we booked uh, what do you call it? A inside cabin for the boys. Why did I do that? Well, like I said, watched a lot of videos and a lot of stuff, and one of the things that few said was on your first cruise, especially for the younger ones, book an inside cabin. So I did. And most people will tell you you're only there to sleep. So, the cabin category doesn't matter as much because, you're there to explore the ship. And that's true. You're not there to sit in your cabin all day, but I have to say that there's something magical and beautiful in the morning or even in the evening. Just you, the ocean, the silence, just sitting there in the morning drinking a cup of coffee or in the evening just drinking a glass of wine maybe or whatever, just relaxing. And it's a good place to go if you need to get away from everybody or everything, just having your own little space. So for us, that was important. I did feel bad that, the boys was stuck in an inside cabin, but they made the best of it. They didn't complain. They kept saying that they were fine with it. But that was the lesson for our first cruise. Um, if you've never been in an inside cabin, if you have a walk in closet at home, go in there and shut the door. And that's basically how it felt to me, a large walk in closet that you're able to put in two twin beds and a couch and a little bathroom in with, you know, no view of the world outside. And they said they never knew what time it was because it was always dark in that room. And I agree with them. I will never book an inside cabin again. And I even asked my husband the other day, we were chatting about vacation options for this summer. And most likely it's going to be a cruise. Um, it's just a matter of which one, when, and what ports we want to go to. And I asked him, I said, if given the opportunity to go on a cruise for free, but it's an inside cabin, would you take it? And without hesitation, he said, no, I will not take it unless I have the option of upgrading to a balcony room. And honestly, I kind of agree with him. If I had a balcony room, I think I would be sitting I mean, if I had a inside cabin, I think I would be on the deck um, most of the time because I don't think I can sit in that room for a very long time. But that was our first experience and what we took away from our first cruise. And from that experience, I think I became, you know, one of those cruise lovers. And I'm glad my family is sharing in this experience with me. And after that, we decided to go on the Wonders of the Seas again. And that came about because my husband and I, we decided that since, again, we're not doing the Wolf Lodge or we're not doing the Disney or kid friendly vacations anymore because they are older, we get to each pick the vacation. Like that first year was my turn and I picked the Wonder of the Seas, and the year after that was going to be his turn. And of course, I was shocked when he said he wanted to go on the Wonders of the Seas again. And I have to say, the second time was even better than the first. I mean, this time it was more about, hey, let's explore the ship a little bit more. I had more energy and everything else. So it was about trying out everything and not just sitting too much in the solarium. So it was great. I was happy to say I'll plan it. And one thing about planning a cruise that I like is that you pay for everything in advance. So when you walk in, you can spend as much as you want or as little as you want or nothing at all because everything is paid for. And to me, that also gives me another peace of mind that I know that everything is paid for and I don't have to worry about what is this going to cost me afterwards. But this time we decided not only were we going to get the unlimited drinking package, we also decided we were going to get the beverage package. And our daughter decided that she had time off work and that she heard enough about how much fun we had that she wanted to go with us. So we got two balcony rooms, one for them and one for us. Um, and I mean, it was great. Our oldest son couldn't make it, so this time it was five of us instead of four. And the thing about the unlimited drink package, if anybody knows how Royal Caribbean works, is you pay this big price and you have unlimited alcohol and beverages or whatever you want. So we got the one that included alcohol for us, even though our daughter's old enough to drink. She doesn't drink, so we just got her the beverage package or the drink soda package, whatever it's called. I don't remember. And the boys. And they give you the tumbler where you use on the freestyle machine. And most of the time they left it in the room. They did not they didn't use it. And when we went to dinner, they just wanted water, which was fine with me, but I wish I knew that before we paid for it. And we wasn't any better either. I mean, we got maybe at the most per day, we had maybe like um, three drinks. And I don't care what anybody says, the mixed drinks on board was strong. I mean, I feel like they used a little bit too much alcohol for my taste. Maybe it's because, like I said, we're not big drinkers, and we just had like a glass of wine with dinner. So the beverage package was not worth it for us. I mean, it was actually a waste of money. So when we went on the Utopia of the Seas, we did not get the no, did we? I don't remember. We didn't get the unlimited drink package. We got the water bottles delivered to our room, and that was great. And I don't think if well, yeah, no, I don't think when we go back to go back on the Royal Caribbean ship that we're gonna get the unlimited drink package. We'll do the water bottles again, and we will get drinks as needed. And if we need to, we can bring a bottle of good wine on board and have that. But um, the drink package was a complete waste for us. And if you're not a big drinker, don't waste your money. And I wasn't going to chase that, get drinks just to make up for the drink package. That wasn't um, what we wanted to do. But but we did get our money's worth when it came to the unlimited food package. I mean, we tried every restaurant, I believe, on board and loved it. That's the thing about us, and that's the thing that, again, we do not like vacationing in certain ways because we love trying different food. We love going to the ports and trying the local food. It's a great way to get to know the culture. It's a great way to get to know people is by experiencing their food. So we love doing that. We talk about it all the time, the different food that we've tried. So the food package was definitely for us, and we will definitely get that again. It was worth it for us. I mean, another thing is during embarkation day, we do not go to the buffet area for lunch because it's always overcrowded. And that's the thing with cruising. It's all about a different experience. Cruising can feel overwhelming and crowded if you want it to be. If you're the type that wants to be right in the middle of the action, you know what I mean? The pool deck, the one that gets up early to save the chair where it's right in the middle of all the action where everybody else, or if you're the type that's going to try and squeeze in to the already overcrowded, and we've all seen it, the overcrowded hot tubs where people are just sitting in there for hours with drinks. If you're the type that wants to squeeze in and sitting in there, you're going to find that cruising is overwhelming, that it is crowded. But for us, it was not overwhelming or crowded because we didn't chase the crowd. We did not go in the hot tubs or in the pools. It was more about relaxing, trying different ports. And the ports are great. You get to try different food. You get to meet new people. And that's why I've become a lover of cruises. I mean, it has won us over, and especially because of the food. Cruising has opened the door to places we probably wouldn't have visited on our own. Maybe. I mean, we've been to Mexico a few times, Roatan, St. Thomas, St. Martin's, and much more. During our Europe trip, we went on a Europe cruise where we went on NCL, and that was great, and that was all about going to different ports. And I've heard the argument that some people says that you don't get to spend a lot of times in on each port, and that's true. And for me, that's enough because I get a taste of each place, and then I can decide on my own that if I want to go back, and if not, just move on. And sometimes that little taste you get of the place, it's almost like you get to say, "We'll be back. Our business is not finished here." You know, I've seen just a little bit to want me to come back. And from all these different ports, what we remember the most, you guessed it, is the food. Like I said, we always tried a local dish everywhere we go. We have forgotten some the names of some of the what do you call it? Some of the museums, some of the castles that we visited in Europe, and churches, but we never forget what we ate. We haven't forgotten the grilled octopus we had on the ship. We still talk about the pastries in France. Oh my God, the pasta in Italy and in Rome. While in Rome, we had a tour guide, and we got to visit all the famous places in Rome. And yes, it was fast paced. We did spend a little time in each place. But boy, I'll never forget the pasta in Rome. And when I look at the pictures and I think about the memory and the moments, I always know that I will go back. Like I said, unfinished business. The Even now when we're sitting at home at having dinner, we always talk about the food that we tried in these different places. Those meals have become our stories. They've become our moments. They've become what brings us together as a family. Because honestly, we love food, and we are not afraid to say it and trying different cuisines. Now, here's the honest truth: cruises are not perfect. Like I said before, they can feel a bit crowded at times in certain areas. But we've learned something. We've learned that you don't have to try to do everything on board. Skip the chaos and find your own rhythm. Find what makes you happy. And suddenly it starts to not feel overwhelming. It starts to feel peaceful. So, why do some people swear by cruises while others will say they will never go on one? For example, I belong to a few groups on Facebook about cruises. Well, not few, heck, I belong to a lot from every different cruise line I think there is. And there's always times where people get very offended when somebody mentions that something negative about the cruise ship or uh, a cruise line that they like. It's like they take it very, very personal, as if you're personally offending them. And I just want to say, look, they might have just had a bad experience on that ship. Let's move on. Everybody's experience is different, and that's the thing about cruising. Um, it is different for everybody, but vacation itself is personal. Different people likes to do different things. For some people, they prefer that relaxing cooking together in a rental home. For others, it means exploring a hotel room and exploring the city and trying a restaurant in the city. For me, it means knowing dinner is ready and it was cooked by somebody else. I didn't have to plan, I didn't have to coordinate. I just showed up and created beautiful memories with my family. And at the end of the day, that's all we can ask for, is creating beautiful memories, whether we're on a cruise ship or in a hotel, at home, or anything else in between. It's all about creating unforgettable memories. It's about being intentional. And sometimes that's all it takes. So, whatever you decide to plan for your family, or as a solo traveler, I hope you get to explore the local town or the local city and try something new and try a new dish and create beautiful, unforgettable memories. Vacation isn't really about cruises, Airbnbs, or hotels. It's about moments around the table. Moments that we decide to step out of our comfort zone and try something unforgettable and new. Moments where we unplug from the world. Moments your kids might talk about years from now and say, remember that trip? Remember what we did? Remember what we ate? Whether that moment happens in a rental kitchen, a rental house, a hotel room, or on a balcony in the middle of the ocean, make it count. Take that trip. Plan that trip. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. So make it count. Make it intentional. Reset your mind. Create the memories. Because by now we all know that moments matter. At the end of the day, that's all we have. And if you want to know or want to hear about more moments, please subscribe and share this with others. And leave me a comment. Let me know what trip you're planning. Are you planning a cruise? And it's so weird because I need ideas on where to go and what to do this summer for my family. Like I said, it's definitely going to be a cruise. Um, Let me know what you decide and what you plan. Share, comment, and like. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for listening and being part of my journey. I appreciate it.